The fuck? This shit doesn't make any sense at all. But whatever. This is just even Uno earned this. I know he was in a match like last week. Um, this, I don't know. All right, finally, I'm on time. All right, let me see the comments. Okay, I see it coming from King Leo. I see Robert in the house. What's up? You said the Dark Order been needed to disband. Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know what's going on. I think it's only three of them right now. Evil Uno. Dang, what's that one? The bald one. Keep forgetting his name. And Alex Reynolds. So far, they're together still. I just don't understand the Ring of Honor title thing. This doesn't make any sense. Like they said that Eddie Kingston had relinquished the title. However, he's still walking around with it. I don't get it. What? They cheering for Evil Uno? Even this dude is shocked about it. He looking around like, what? Y'all cheering for me? So like the show just started, and that's the place is packed. So this is definitely taped um before Collision. Pretty much, people are still getting in, but majority of people are in. Um, and by the end of the show, you're gonna see it's like a handful of people in there. I feel like they're just giving anybody an opportunity. Oh, damn. Eddie Kingston moves out the way when Eva Una goes to give him a chop and he hits the ring post. Ouch. Now he working that hand. Are they booing Eddie? Where they at? What city is this? Is Eva Uno from there? Is this for the title or is this a proving grounds match? I think it's a title match because we got like 2 more weeks before the tournament is over. And obviously, whoever wins that is going to have the Ring of Honor title, which is BS to me. Wait a minute. So this is a okay. So this is a proving grounds match. So uh, Evil Uno got 10 minutes to last in the ring, or he has to pin or make Eddie submit in order to win this. No, 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 take off the jacket, brother, bro. Put it back on. The hell is he doing? There you go. Evil Uno is showering Eddie Kingston with chops. Like this dude doesn't get chopped every day of his life. I'm just really surprised about them booing Eddie like that. We really don't see that. I mean, he is close to 10 minutes, I want to say. I think he's like 6 or 7 minutes. Maybe. So if he wins, he'll get the title shot, but it may not be with Eddie. Damn, look at his chest. All right. Oh, we kicked him right in the face. He could have gone for a pin. Oh, you got a power driver. 1, 2, 3. Another kick to the face. Hey, you making this a little too easy, bro. A back fist. He about to win it right here. I mean, like, what's the point though? You're hardly champion now. 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I mean, Eddie really got to be discouraged, knowing like he's definitely not going to win the Continental Classic, and for whatever reason, he's still having to defend the Ring of Honor World title. It's just strange. Okay, so he's going to adhere to the code of honor and go shake Evil Uno's hand. Evil Uno looks like he don't gain like 30 pounds. All right, so he shook his hand. Oh, it is a hometown crowd. That's why they were cheering for him. 'Cause I never really hear people cheering for him like that. Well, good effort. This is the type of bullshit that I've been talking about. They're giving a AEW commercial for World's End, which is later on this month. And it's funny how they're showing this here on the Honor Club. But when have you seen an ad for Ring of Honor playing during AEW show? So we do have two matches for the pay-per-view. Billy Sparks. We got Keith Lee and Shane Taylor. That's going to be pretty interesting. So we got BCC versus Mark Briscoe and FTR. So now we got a legit Layla Hirsch in the match. And you already know when they don't say who it is the squash. But she's coming out with Rachel Ellering and Maria, which I'm not really sure why she's with them, but something about this little storyline is lacking for me, but I'm just gonna give it a chance. All right, so she's in the ring with Katrina Creed. It's gonna be quick. I'm not a guy that says I told you so, but maybe put that little word here that maybe Maria is the one to trust in these situations. Yeah, you're right. But you get into good advice. That's how we do it. It's a great contest. It's a great merchandise. Maria, I want that shirt. I'm actually just gonna be looking out to see what shirts they're gonna be selling at the arena. They might be a little bit more expensive over there compared to on the website. The only thing I don't like is like on the website, like Pro Wrestling Tees or just AEW, which is pretty much the same website. You have to pay an extra $4 for women's shirt, and I'm just like, well, why? So like if you're a woman and you don't want like that basic t-shirt and you want it to be a woman's cut, you got to pay extra money for that. And honestly, I don't see why that isn't an option. They should have like, different designs with women cut on it too. Absolutely right. The Cobra Katrina Creed. Number 1, 2. Coming out of the IWS in Quebec. Prospect. But in trouble here with the well-established Layla Hirsch, whose attention is being bypassed. Maria and Rachel Ellering will be offering their advice. And the Layla Hirsch. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna be over a while ago. Well, we're probably like 2 minutes in. And Maria. Maria's explaining maybe why she cheated or how she cheated. Children wants to hear you. That's saying Maria rules. 1, 2. Holy. Now she just hitting her in the face. So this is when they were still in Canada. I guess from Saturday. Yeah, they were in Montreal on Saturday. I didn't even know Evil Uno was Canadian. That's why they were cheering for him like that. I'm not gonna lie, this match is a little boring. Hey Manny. Hey Jerry Brown, what's going on? So far we're on our second match on Ring of Honor. Usually they actually show how long the show is going to be, but this is the first time I'm realizing that they actually don't show that. And Layla wins. Can't really say I'm impressed because I've seen her do way better than this. But that's what happens when they end up, finding local talent to put in the ring with them. They just, give them a few minutes, if that, to do a little something. And then the Ring of Honor talent ends up winning. But there's nothing really interesting with a match like this. All right, so we got Lexi backstage. She's with the Outrunners, and these dudes, they're cool. I don't care what nobody said. They are cool. They're so animated. I actually do like their promos. It's very 80s wrestling, and they have a lot of personality. I can't say the same thing about other people. But I enjoy them. And I've seen a lot of improvement with them. We also got the Butcher and the Blade, who are in Ring of Honor right now these past few weeks. And there's no tag titles for these guys to get, so it kind of sucks. Jerry said, I don't know if you heard, Ring of Honor is mad with Tony Khan. If they are, I totally understand. We're almost at a year of since they've been having these weekly shows, and there's nothing really going on. So you got Jerry Lynn, Madison Rain, and Jimmy Jacobs. They are the judges for the Pure Rules match that's about to come on. Um, and then they have Jerry Lynn, who's supposed to be what they said he was, a manager, something of that sort, someone who's supposed to be someone of authority. And really, I don't see anything. And we got Wheeler Yuta, who's coming out right now. He's a pure champion. Um, so what I heard was that Shibata had to go back to Japan, um, and he had no choice but to drop it, which is why he ended up dropping it about like 2 weeks ago, I think. It did feel a little random that that happened, but I felt like they were like, you know what, we don't know who to really put the title on, so we'll put on Wheeler Yuta since he was successful with it already. But real talk, Wheeler Yuta has not been on Ring of Honor, I want to say, since maybe the summertime. So we got Wheeler Yuta versus Jason Geiger right now, just getting started. So like I said, there are other guys that actually could have been in that position to take the titles. And I guess just like Jerry was saying, that people are not happy within the Ring of Honor roster with Tony Khan because you bring back Wheeler Yuta, who's not on the show, to get the pure title when we actually had people they were building up in Ring of Honor to get the pure title. I think the person who was closest to getting that title was Josh Woods. He was supposed to have a rematch with Shibata for the title. They had an amazing match months ago, and what they could have did was basically brought it back, just like they said. He was supposed to get a rematch, and he could have had that rematch with Shibata and beaten Shibata. Josh Woods is absolutely amazing, and like they call him a technical beast for a reason. He could have won that match and won the title, but instead they got Wheeler Yuta. I don't got no problem with Wheeler Yuta. I do like him a lot, but y'all just pretty much skipped to everybody and just went to Wheeler Yuta. That I don't like. And you said some want to leave. I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't. I honestly thought that we would have been at a better spot with Ring of Honor by now, but not really. You said Outrunners and Daddy Magic would have been a fun duo. LOL. That would be wild. They probably would try to out talk each other, and that would drive me crazy. You said you like Wheeler, but he bland of a paper bag. Um, in terms of personality, I can agree with what you're saying. He's one of those people that really, really improved. If you think about like how he was rolling around with the best friends, and he didn't have personality there either, but I don't think he had a standing chance rolling around with that group. You got a chance to see a huge difference once he was having those matches with BCC. And I remember Brian or Moxley, one of them, or maybe both of them, were saying that in order to join us, you got to bleed with us. And he really impressed me there. So, in terms of what he does in the ring, I'm impressed and I really do like it. However, um, sometimes I wonder if BCC actually has worked for him. I think it has worked for him. However, he's in a group with very talented guys who have a lot of success in their careers. They're obviously older than him. However, those guys outshine him by a mile or two. So Billy Yuta isn't necessarily standing out in BCC. Matter of fact, he's the runt of the group. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but whenever he's doing tag or trios with any of the other members, he's the one to get pinned. Okay, so Wheeler won via submission in like 4 minutes and 20 something seconds. Um, Wheeler Yuta to me is more of a striker, not necessarily technical, but he has adapted very well to the pure rules. So I do think that in terms of him holding it down for the title, he's done that already before. But this time around, he needs a storyline. And right now, he got a storyline with Hook. And Hook is, you know what? What can I say about Hook? He's bland too. No personality. I mean, if walking around like a high schooler is a personality, then he got that down. Um, and he's also someone who's sort of gotten that Jade Cargill treatment. If you guys really think about it, um, he's been in the ring with people for the most part who he can easily beat. You know, he's been in the ring with people who I don't want to say don't matter, but they're basically nobodies. And he's always won those situations, and he usually wins those matches quick. Always a couple of strikes and a red rum, and that's pretty much it. Um, we really haven't seen the best out of him or too much out of him. I think the most we've ever seen out of him was two of his most recent matches, which was the match with Jack Perry, the second one, the one that and then the one with Rocky Romero like 2 weeks ago. And when I watched that match is when I realized he's not as good as AEW want us to believe. Because I think out of all the opponents that he's ever had in AEW, Rocky was the most experienced one. And when you're in the ring with someone so experienced like that, it's going to show your inexperience. All right, so we got the Iron Savages. Are they in a tag team match or trios? Oh, I think it is a trios match. Now we got Dalton Castle and the boys. Now I know people is not into whatever Dalton is doing, but I actually absolutely love it. Um, when we talk personality, he has personality. I know it's really kooky, but I don't know, something about him I like, and he's so likable with the crowd. Okay, so this is a 6-man tag match. They're so weird. You said, what would you do with Jake Hager? I get the boring on the mic, but you can do something. Um, but the booking with AEW, I probably would have put him on Ring of Honor. I'm not gonna lie. I think he would have actually done well being part of the peer division. That would be a start with him because really, if you look back at what we've gotten with it, we haven't gotten much. And it's been a while since we actually seen something of importance from Jake Hager. This reminded me about Jake Hager because you know that doctor, that chiropractor that's always like, doing adjustments and cracking people's back or whatever. He actually posted a video with Jake Hager yesterday, and I just couldn't remember what I was looking for. But thanks for reminding me of that. But yeah, I would actually bring him back over there. I think he would have worked out. I do think that it would really benefit Ring of Honor to separate the rosters. Take some people who's on AEW, put them in Ring of Honor. And some people, wrestlers or fans, might look at this as a demotion or something. I don't necessarily think so. I think that if y'all got the right people in the right places, things should be able to work out because what they're doing right now isn't necessarily working out. They're just putting a lot of people in matches, and that's pretty much it. some of the storylines, there's hardly any storylines, but very few of them are really working out. Yeah, and I've been waiting for a while for Daniel Garcia to leave that group. Um, and with him being in the tournament, he's another one who has not gotten any wins. Him, Mark Briscoe, and Jay Lethal. I think they're the only ones who have not gotten zero wins. If they're not going to do anything with these guys, and that's something I was talking about in my review yesterday, was how they haven't really done anything with Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe since they've been signed with AEW. Nothing at all. And and I'm not even seeing in terms of titles. Like, tell me something memorable. The only memorable thing that we've really gotten from Mark Briscoe, unfortunately, was after his brother passed away. That match, his first match with Jay Lethal, was amazing and so emotional to watch. And then he had that TV title match with Samoa Joe, which was another really amazing match. But after that, nothing. They actually tried to put him in that group with Jay Lethal and friends. And I was just like, wow, he doesn't even fit. Now I know Mark isn't used to being a singles competitor. Jay Briscoe had been a single competitor, even won the Ring of Honor World Title, and Mark Briscoe haven't been able to have that type of success. And unfortunately, they put him in a whole bunch of foolishness this year. And then he got hurt right before his world title match with Claudio. Now I don't know if he would have won that, but that would have been interesting if he did. So the Honor Savages right now, they are killing the boys. They're not even letting the boys tag in Dalton Castle. And the Honor Savages have absolutely improved too from the time that they started. Sometimes they do trios, sometimes they do tag. But I know if you guys watch Collision, you've seen them on there a few times. And that's what pisses me off is the fact that these guys have no titles to fight for. I don't know if the six-man tag titles is going to be on the line at the pay-per-view tomorrow because Khan and Toa Leon have been in New Japan doing the the tag tournament over there. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know when that shit's gonna be over or if it even is over. These tournaments, they're not on a weekly basis like how you see Tony Khan doing. Tony Khan has to do these tournaments on a weekly basis because he's on TV like that. New Japan can get away with having these tournaments damn near these matches damn near almost every day, and get through the tournament that way. Um, so honestly, I don't know if the six-man title tag titles will be on the line, and I don't know. And obviously, the Ring of Honor tag titles is not going to be on the line either. So now Dalton Castle is drinking Iron Savage's special drink, whatever it is that they always walk to the ring with. Now he pumped up to get in the ring. There's a whole bunch of silly shit right now. Um, it's typical Dalton Castle. All right, we finally got Dalton in the ring. I know he picking him up for a German. Oh my god, that's the type of stuff to break your back. This dude is like 300 pounds. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when Dalton had won the world title, his back was broken. And he picking up a big dude like this for a German is absolutely insane. You said I like Dalton, but it'd be weird if Kiera pair with him and get repackaged like Tony Storm. That's why I was wondering too if they're actually gonna make them as a group or if they were going for maybe at the pay per view Dalton with Kiera uh, versus John and Taya. Not sure if that's what they're going for. You said I'll send Penelope Ford and Kip here on Ring of Honor and ask for the contract to come to NXT. But they can get something with Ford and Ring of Honor and maybe have Ford be jealous that Maria uh, picked two boring personalities, Rachel and Hirsch. Um, I don't know what they're doing with the other two girls. But Penelope and Kip, they can be, they could actually make a few teams with men and women, and that would be interesting. Just like how you saw Kiara, helping out Dalton. We got John and Taya. I'm trying to think of a couple of other people, but that would be cool to see some type of, mixed tag match. And Dalton ends up winning the match. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, but here comes um John Morrison, whatever he calling himself right now. Now he on the stage and he's staring down Dalton. Why is forehead so shiny like that? Like you can literally see a reflection on this dude's forehead. Oh, John is walking to the ring. Oh, well, he stopped. The boys opening up the rope said, "Bring your ass up in here and get this ass whooping." I guess not. So wait a minute. They're not going to have a match because Dalton Castle is in the Survival of the Fittest match. Hmm. Well, here's Butcher and the Blade. Oh, very interesting. They're looking for tag team gold. Unfortunately, y'all looking in the wrong place because MJF and Adam Cole got it. Now, I was reading something interesting the other day. People were wondering, like, how should MJF drop the titles? Like, should he vacate the titles, him and Adam Cole, or should he just have a match with basically a handicap match defending both titles against a team, pretty much like what he did with the Righteous? Um, Whatever they go for, they cannot vacate the title. because they just did something like that with the TV title, and the way they did it, I think made it feel very, very insignificant. And you don't want to do that with another title right after that, because now you're gonna make it seem like Ring of Honor is an afterthought. So I hope that's not what they go with here. I'd rather MJF be like in a handicap match situation, defending his title and Adam title and lose. All right, so here comes Taya Valkyrie with what is it, Johnny TV? That's his name now. That's a really nice jacket she got on. So she's going against Rachel Ellering, and Rachel, I don't care who your daddy is, she is so boring. And Tanya better win this one. I think this is her first match on. I think I cannot really remember, but it would be interesting. And I find it interesting that her father was a manager of the Road Warriors, and she got no personality. You said I will repackage Ring of Honor to give a new name to Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor name is dead, like Impact for TNA. Um, if they were to do that, I think I would have. I think I would have just did that from the beginning, like when he purchased it. Give it a whole new name. I think they're probably past that point of changing the name. Him buying Ring of Honor, it didn't mean that he had to, you know, make it what we're used to Ring of Honor being. He could have just, take it and make his own spin on it. I like the fact that there's a lot of typical things about Ring of Honor you still see here. Obviously, keeping all the titles, um, the the gimmick matches that they have or whatnot. So those things are cool or whatever. But now you got a whole new roster for the most part. It was quite some time since we saw Ring of Honor, basically go out of business, and then Tony announcing that he bought it. So some people who was on Ring of Honor didn't end up, being on Ring of Honor now, which kind of surprised me. I mean, we got Johnny, who is ringside and being a huge distraction here. And that's why I'm not really surprised. Oh, now they stopping and they're kissing each other. Like, what the hell? Ew. I'm not really surprised that they're both signed together because, they're husband and wife. They do the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, after what happened with the whole Jay Cargill storyline with Taya, I was questioning, like, girl, you could have just stayed where you were instead of coming over here. You said Johnny Honor. Probably have a new name by next year. Okay, we have James Mallory in the house. He said, "Hey Tati, think about the crazy scenario at Royal Rumble, number 29. You said, OMG, it's Mercedes Monet, number 30. Um, and he said, I said, holy cows, AJ Lee, OMG, face off. This is a dream. I know a lot of people are saying that they're pretty much hinting for Mercedes to come to WWE, and maybe she'll be returning at the Ring of Honor. I mean, not Ring of Honor. I'm over here watching the show. At Royal Rumble, that would be interesting. If there's any time for her to return, not debut, that would be good for her to come back during the Royal Rumble. Okay, these two over here doing a lot of kissing and stuff instead of focusing on this match. But I don't know what type of contract she got with Ring of Honor. I mean, oh, what do I keep saying Ring of Honor? With New Japan, because she's only been with New Japan for like not even a whole year. And it's one of those other situations where you can't say never too, because she ended up winning the women's title from Kyrie, and look where Kyrie is now, back in WWE. All right, so this match is going back and forth between these two girls. I kind of rather see Taya take the win. I find her to be more interesting in the ring and out. But Rachel been winning a few of her matches. She actually was on a losing streak for quite some time up until a few weeks ago. So she could win this. He said, yeah, Rachel needs a character. She's bland. Yep, absolutely. All right, Ty hit her with a spear. It was a bit of a weak spear, but we'll take it. Damn, Taya just kicked her on the back. Oh snap, Taya won. Okay. Oh my god. So I see it from here. Johnny and Taya is gonna be that annoying couple. Jesus Christ. I almost forgot Maria and Layla being ringside for Rachel. Something about that team just I don't know why they're together. And I found it interesting because Maria was trying to help Layla cheat earlier tonight, but she didn't try to help Rachel cheat. Okay, so now they got they're showing the final battle commercial, whatever. And this is what I'm seeing. Earlier they played the commercial for World's End. Why didn't they play this on Dynamite or Rampage or Collision? Yeah, you guys are barely selling these seats out for the pay-per-view, and you guys don't have that much people watching the show. they should be advertising Ring of Honor on AEW TV.
Have you gotten one step closer to that goal, even through this?
So now we got Ethan Page. He did an interview after his match on Collision with Kenny Omega. Now I'm not gonna lie, I thought that matchup was pretty random, but I do think that Kenny Omega brought a lot out of Ethan Page in that match. And even though he lost, I still think he looked great here. And it does kind of suck to take a loss like that right before a pay-per-view match.
I just saw you my best. For sure, I tried my absolute best, and that's all I can do. I had an opportunity tonight, just like I had an opportunity that Tony East took away from me to go after the Ring of Honor TV title. So yeah, I definitely could have won a title from the honor of Tony East to take it away from me. That brings me to tonight. I can't focus on the loss. Because 6 days from now, I have an I quit match. 6 days from now, I have an I quit match. And final battle. And I just got my kicked in my home country by one of the best wrestlers in the world. I can't think about that. I can't focus on that. I can't put my energy into this loss. I got Tony Nese at final battle. Tonight, I lost because my shoulders were pinned to the mat, not because I gave up. Not because I didn't have enough of the tank, not because I didn't have enough willpower, not because I'm not good enough. It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds over and over has changed the course of my entire career. But not in December. No, it's not 3 seconds. It's not the acting out. It's not count outs. It's not disqualification. The decision to lose is in my hands. The only person that has to quit is me. I quit. Whoa. I refuse. I will not. Those words.
Oh, what the hell? Okay, so right in the middle of that little fiery promo, here comes Tony Nese running up in the dressing room. If it wasn't for the nice, strong Ring of Honor referees keeping these guys away from each other, they'll be brawling in that locker room. They should have let them fight for like a couple of seconds. It's going to be a really interesting match, an I Quit match. I actually like both of these guys. Ethan Page, man, I kind of feel like they dropped the ball on him. I had a lot of high hopes for him. He needs help with promo. I do see he's actually improved with what I just saw just now. But every week on Ring of Honor, his promos are literally the same damn thing. And that was the one thing that was kind of keeping me from really cheering this guy on, because I was just like, okay, he has the potential to being one of the top guys in Ring of Honor. And the promo thing, I think, has been keeping him back these past few months. Okay, so now we got Griff Garrison and Cole Carter coming out to the ring with Maria. Maria busy. She's been out for a couple of matches. So now they're going against Bobby Sharp and Sean Moore. This is going to be a squash. Now I see Griff Garrison. He been in the gym. I can see it. And I kind of complained about this before. He needs to look the part of a wrestler. So I see he's been over there in the gym. But how does he do in the ring? We'll see. Griff is another one, no personality. Now I see him kind of putting a little bit of an effort, but it's just not really there. Someone really needs to work with this kid. Now, Cole Carter, Um, well, he's gonna need guidance, but I see potential in him. Griff, if somebody could work with him in terms of personality, there will be some potential too. And I am surprised that he's in another tag team situation because things didn't work out with him and Pillman Jr. But look at Pillman Jr. right now in NXT. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not really enjoying the whole Lexus King thing. It's better than what we saw him do in AEW. I just don't think it really fits him. If he's gonna make it to the main roster, it won't be with that Lexus King thing. He's gonna definitely be repackaged again. I will say, hanging with Cardis changes the attitude. Made him a little more gritty than he was before. It may not be a bad thing because it's and Griff being in this group is supposed to kind of help him bring that personality out because obviously Maria, she's the heel. Cole is a heel too. So we'll see. I don't think that's and another thing, excuse me. Hold on. Oh wow. They won. That was quick. I didn't even see him get tagged in. So they don't necessarily have, I don't want to say they don't have chemistry, but they don't look like a tag team. They don't look like a tag team in terms of what they do in the ring. And this is what I was saying the other day, AEW not having something like a performance center or something where these guys can train is definitely hurting these guys. Because what that means is that on their own time, people like Griff and Cole are going to have to get together and try to figure out on their own how they can be a tag team together. Okay, so we got Lexi with the Workhorsemen. Workhorsemen, we are on a roll. We got a couple victories in our belt. In fact, not so long ago, we won 8. We'll always have. So we're going to continue to do what we always do. Listen, you love it for tag teams. Possessed and obsessed with success. All right. All right, so we got the Workhorsemen, the Outrunners, Butcher and the Blade, and the Infantry in the 4-corner survival tag match. That's going to be interesting. And we also got Athena. She's going to be in the Proving Grounds match. Oh, okay. So we got Shane Taylor coming out right now. I wonder who he's going against. And Lee Moriarty. Oh, so Lee Moriarty is another one. I wouldn't have put a title on him, but he's also a technical wrestler. He could have won the pure title. I know, you know what? I wouldn't have put it on him yet, but he's someone that would have been great as a champion. It would have been really nice if There was a more of a build up for the pay per view. Who was this chunk in the ring? Channing Decker. I don't think I've ever seen him before. Never heard of him. This is gonna be quick.
And we talked a lot about Taylor not leaving anybody behind. It is Taylor that launching promotions that on from Moses to the forefront. Oh, there. Oh.
So Shane is supposed to be going against Keith Lee tomorrow night. That's going to be interesting. These two guys obviously have history with each other, but I just feel like for months they've been teasing Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor, and they never did anything about it. I mean, months. Like once a month or so on Collision, they'll show something between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor, basically staring each other down and never do anything about it. And finally, here we are in December where they're actually going to have a match with each other.
On the eve of challenging for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles at ROH's 50th anniversary in 2017. He left Shane Taylor's side. He went to he felt was greener pastures at the time. But he had a tag team title on his side.
And Shane, he's a great wrestler, you know. They're not really doing anything with him on here either. I don't know. I wish I could just pull Tony Khan aside and just be like, bro, what are you doing? So if anybody's watching at this point, you can see the arena is a little less than halfway full. This had to have been after Collision, and pretty much people booked and left. And that's something that I'm not going to do. If I paid money to be at the show, I'm sticking around for everything. Now I don't know how late the tapings go for, but I'm definitely gonna stick around after Collision and watch Ring of Honor. You know, so they got this young dude in the ring with Shane Taylor, and really, you know, it's not horrible, but it's not great either. So they actually still have that survival of the fittest match where they got 6 guys going for the TV title. Obviously, whoever wins get the title. Oh, damn. Well, Shane about to win it right here. They only have 5 people in that match so far. I guess tonight we're gonna find out who that 6th person is to go for the TV title. I bet you Dalton Castle's gonna win. I can't remember the other dudes that are in there. Oh, I remember Lee Johnson being in there, and I don't even know why. And Lee Moriarty in front of the camera, letting Keith Lee know that he ain't ready for Shane Taylor. Okay, so they're showing a clip of Samoa Joe as a TV champ. Now they're showing him when he vacated the title. Ring of Honor World Television Champion in a six-way survival of the fittest. Okay, Dalton Castle, Commander, Lee Johnson, and Lee Moriarty, and Kyle Fletcher. Is that everybody? Did I just list 6 people? Oh, I think that is 6 people. Well, yeah, Kyle Fletcher was the last person to get in on this match. Well, Kyle Fletcher winning, I'm not against that. He's actually been on Ring of Honor this year, for the most part doing tag matches. But that would be a win for Don Callis' family, for them to have somebody with a title right now in that group. Also, we'll see what happens with Hobbs and Takeshita because they're tagging. See, maybe they might end up winning a tag title at some point. That would be cool. Okay, so it's 5 people they got so far. Dalton Castle, Lee Moriarty, Lee Johnson, for whatever reason he's in this match, Kyle Fletcher, and Commander. So they got one more person to get in there. Okay, so here come the Righteous coming out. And honestly, I think they should have just gave the titles to the Righteous when they fought against MJF. That thing that Dutch be doing with his tongue is insane. Oh my God, there are 2 scrawny men already in the ring. Oh Lord. But I don't mind them having these local talents come in the ring. The Australian Takeover. Okay, that's the name of the group. Okay. So they're Canadian but Australian. Okay. Um, so I don't mind them bringing over the local talent, but they've already had so many so far tonight, and I do think that takes away from some of these matches.
Almost absorbed a couple of weeks ago when he did, and the Righteous had that great out against the Hardy's tag mate and the Dutch. Tell you what we do, win over somebody like
I hear some people in the crowd chanting something, but there's not that many people there, so you can't really hear what's going on. And then yesterday with Dynamite, I don't know if anybody caught this, but it almost sounded like there was microphones in the crowd or something. It was really weird.
And basically one of the top Australian teams who compete for Canada. Except for there was someone from Aussie Open over the years who competed extensively in the UK. We saw it from the front. Oh my goodness. God, sweet. Sucker. Oh, that's the stuff that's feeling. Let's never win this game with the
We got Vincent torturing one of these dudes. He's not even tagged in. And there was something I actually forgot to mention on my review yesterday. The match with Moxley and Swerve. Swerve actually was robbed. When Moxley had put him in that roll up, Swerve's shoulders was off the mat. And I feel like I watched it back a few times, and I'm like, I'm not 100% sure if the referee was looking directly at it or not, because you can't tell exactly if he saw it, even though he was facing that way, and he probably just ignored it, knowing that the finish was for Moxley to win, but his shoulders definitely were not on the mat. And I think what helped with that, obviously, was that when he did that roll up, he ended up holding onto Swerve's pants and pulled him way up forward towards him. And that definitely helped get his shoulders off the mat. So if the referee really saw that and just ignored it, then, he's obviously just following orders, knowing that Moxley was supposed to take that win. But for us who's watching at home, we're looking at it as in, well, Swerve shoulders were down. Ooh, what a crossbody. This match is lasting longer than I expected. Wait a minute, the wrenches are not on the pay-per-view? So, but keep this in mind, though. This is their go-home show. And it doesn't feel like that. All right, the Righteous win. I don't even think they're on the card. Not that I can remember, but for a go-home show, you really wanted to, hype people up for the pay-per-view, especially the pay-per-view being literally tomorrow. And like for me, I would put money and say that people will definitely enjoy the pay-per-view. The thing is that some of these matches have virtually no build, but they will perform insanely well tomorrow night. All right, we have Lexi with the infantry. They could win the tag titles. They have personality. Their chemistry is absolutely on point as a team. I would actually like to see them win. And I find it interesting that almost all the tag teams that did promos tonight are talking about the tag titles, which we actually have not heard them talk about in a really long time. Pretty much the whole time that MJF has had the titles.
No fear. The trees.
All right, well, we're about to have tag team action next, maybe? Or not? Who the hell is that? Oh, Brian Cage. Brian Cage is supposed to be going against. Shit, what's that dude name? The one that is so weird. Gravity. And here's Prince Nana. Man, Prince Nana has gotten so popular. Prince Nana been with Ring of Honor for a really, really long time. And, this is one of those situations where putting him, not just him, but the embassy and the Mogul affiliates to come together to be the Mogul Embassy was actually a really great booking call. Um, it really worked out. And then obviously we have Prince Nana being on the side of Swerve Strickland. And, with Swerve's theme, that really worked out with the whole dancing thing. I'm not gonna lie, the dance, I did not like it at first. Now here comes Gravity. I don't know if you guys like Gravity. Something about it, it's like, all right, I'm over it already. He's talented in the ring though. I don't know if you guys know, but he's the brother of Bandito. Bandito, unfortunately, is still injured. Hey, Bobby. Yeah, the infantry, they actually have really great chemistry with each other. The beginning of the year, they were actually on a losing streak. Things picked up like around the summertime or whatever, but they're really, really great together in the ring. And they got, really great personality. So I would actually enjoy seeing if they would have won the tag titles. They were taking a lot of L's at first. Sean is one of the trainers in AEW. So usually a lot of the trainers don't mind losing because they're there to help some of these other guys get over. But now I see there being more of a serious tag team. So I really do hope that, MJF is going to end up. Damn, he kicked them right in the head. I really do hope that MJF drop the titles. There's just no reason why he should hold on to them. If they didn't do that thing the other day with MJF getting attacked with that beer bottle from the back of his head, they could have had MJF get on this pay-per-view and somehow maybe, I don't know if this would have worked out, but put him in a situation where he's calling out any tag team to go against him or whatever for the Ring of Honor title and lose it. I don't know if that would have worked out, but that's better than him holding on to it for no reason. I mean, when I think of Brian Cage, I'm not sitting here thinking of him going against somebody like Gravity. Where's the meat division in Ring of Honor? You got Brian. We got Brian. Shane Taylor's another big one over there. JD Driggs another big one over there. Who else? Okay, maybe they don't have that many big dudes over there. And then I think I mentioned earlier that the 6-man tag titles don't seem to be on the line tomorrow either. I guess the Gates of Agony are still in that tag tournament. Okay, Gravity giving us a little something. And before, like earlier this year, I kind of thought that Brian would actually leave AEW. I don't know what he would have done, but it felt like that probably was going to happen. But he ended up resigning, so I guess for a couple of years or whatnot. It was just the weirdest thing for the Young Bucks to beat the Mogul Embassy. The Young Bucks and what's their friend name? Hangman to beat the Mogul Embassy for the 6-man tag titles. I was like, what the hell is this? It didn't make any sense at all, you know. It just seemed like maybe they just said, you know what, we should have the titles. Let's get them. And that's why a lot of people have, you know, their opinions on the Bucks, them being EVPs and putting themselves in situations to have gold. And it's just like, y'all not even making sense. And then they end up losing it to the Mogul Embassy again. So I mean, very strange. They weren't even going to be on Ring of Honor. Oh, hey, Marcus. Okay, so you know, Gravity had him in a crucifix, but he got Brian got out of that really quickly. I don't really think he locked it in that well, though. And Prince Nana is awfully quiet tonight. He's usually, you know, screaming. Oh, Brian going for the cover. Oh, okay. So Gravity kicked out. So he has a death wish. He definitely wants to die tonight. Always bringing out these moves nobody seen before. Absolutely, big thrust kick down, the innovator of offense is DNA. Certainly a Brian Cage as well. And Gravity was going back to the fire. Damn, Gravity got Brian on the fireman's carry, and he kind of looked like he's struggling a little bit, but he did it. Oh, I'm about to say, okay, Gravity goes for a senton. I thought he was gonna win it for like half a second. Marcus, you said that it's obvious that the devil is Jack Perry. I actually saw some kind of comparison to that, like a few minutes before the show started. On Facebook, somebody was saying something about the glass situation. Obviously, the glass situation at All In. Okay, so Brian Cage make Gravity tap. This was a decent match. Prince Nana helps Gravity get his ass out the ring by kicking him out. Thank you for helping, Prince Nana. So I see where people are saying, showing the comparison between the devil and Jack Perry. But can you imagine the devil being unmasked and it's Jack Perry? Could you imagine everyone? Oh, okay, Prince Nana doing the dance. And Brian is just looking at him. I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, so now we got Rachel Ellering being a bitter Betty backstage. Now Layla is trying to console Rachel, but then here comes Maria praising Layla for winning her match, but basically calling Rachel a loser for losing hers.
I don't know if to be generous, but we rain, okay? That is generous. You ready to go? Okay. That's okay. Go down. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so Maria and Layla hanging out after the show, but not Rachel. Very interesting. You said if you notice every attack that involves the devil and his minions, it always involves real glass. Do you think Tony Khan is sabotaging Brian Danielson's legacy by making him find people? It's memes online, people calling him Brian Snitchin. Oh my God. I've actually did not see the memes like that. But at the end of the day, if Tony, I'm not Tony Khan, if Brian is finding anybody, that's based off of his decision. I don't necessarily see Tony Khan telling Brian to find someone because Tony Khan could just do that on his own. So if Brian is finding anybody, I think that's all up to him. I don't necessarily see why wrestlers need to have that type of role. I know he's considered a veteran, so I get it, but I would not be giving out roles like that to active wrestlers, which is like similar to how you got EVPs who are active on the roster. So I don't necessarily like that. Anyway, we got the four corner survival, whatever tag match. The Outrunners are coming out now, and right before that, we had the Workhorsemen. You said if it's Jack Perry, that would suck because Tony would be basically rewarding him for causing Punk firing, which would be childish by Tony and petty. I don't. So like right before that whole situation with Jack Perry, Jack was heel for maybe a whole month, if that. I was not convinced with him being the heel. Um, he, I figured that he was someone that probably never needed to turn, but they went with it, and I think it was going to take time before it may actually work out for him. So if they were to unveil the devil and it's Jack, people would not be happy about it. So we got the Butcher and the Blade just now coming out. And now here come the infantry. And you said, I feel like Danielson giving out fines is going to piss off talents because they're going to feel like they can't speak on their mind. The egomaniac of most of the talent are in AEW. Actually, I just feel like most people in the wrestling business have egos, especially the ones that get in the ring. I think you'll find that anywhere you go in terms of pro wrestling. And here comes the infantry. They look so cool coming to the ring. Trisha Dora is also part of the infantry as well. She fits well with them. And they all have been in the military. So it all works. And the match is getting started.
Hope you tune in and join us for the and this year, more exclusively,
But even if Brian isn't the one giving out fines, so this is interesting because today at work we had this meeting, right? So pretty much almost everybody at my job worked from home, at least I don't know, maybe 60%. And there was a meeting, and the meeting was supposed to be basically the end of the year type of meeting. And there were a lot of people on the chat with negative, you know. Hold on. Guys, give me a quick second. I got something on this screen. I'm gonna pause it real quick. Hold on.
Oh, no, well, it's-
All right, you guys. All right, I fixed that. All right, who was I talking about? Okay, so yeah. So the meeting that we had earlier, everybody was pretty much letting the boss know their opinions, and it was about a lot of negative stuff when really the meeting was about positivity or whatever. And it goes to say that if you have a problem with something, just go to your boss privately and talk to them about whatever problems you got going on. Making your issues public for pretty much the whole world to see, I do think it's poor taste. If you work part of a company, you're not happy, you go talk to the boss. If they do not make any changes, leave.
You know what? If they said, I believe it. I told you, Ricky, all I said,
So you being active on the roster, and you're putting all this negative this putting the company in negative light, that doesn't necessarily helps you. So behind the scenes, talk to whoever it is that's in charge, see what can be done, and if some time passes and nothing happens, then leave. And if after you leave you want to talk shit about them, go right ahead, but while you're there, it doesn't look good. And I'm really glad they got the Butcher and the Blade here in Ring of Honor, because they wasn't doing a damn thing with them in AEW, and that was very disappointing. And they would do trios with Kip Sapien here and there, and they were not doing anything with him over there either. And he is so talented. It just baffles me, like how many people are so talented, but they're not being used to their fullest potential. And I'm just looking at it like, you know what, 2024, it's a new year. Hopefully things change, and that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. And like I was saying earlier, once you get a little later into the card, you're gonna notice that the arena is much more emptier. That first few matches was a packed house. So what I remember them doing before was filming all of Ring of Honor before Collision, and they got some at some point. They're doing whatever they can do that hour or so before Collision, and then they'll tape the rest of it after Collision. And then when Collision is finished, everybody's just bouncing and leaving. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Y'all paid to be here. Why are you leaving? I could never. You know how many times going to Dynamite and seeing people leave right before Rampage? Insane. Like that's literally part of the show. Why are you guys leaving? Now I get it. It's a weekday. Maybe some of y'all got work or whatever, but still, I would still stay. When I went to Dynamite 200, um, shit, who was the main event was Hikaru Shida versus, damn, who had the title? I don't even remember, but because it was the ladies, everybody was leaving. I could not believe that. And I was like, you know what? If it was John Moxley in the main event or somebody like that, y'all wouldn't have gotten up. And that's just the truth. Okay, so we got Butcher and the Blade going for the pin on the Outrunners, and they won? Okay. Shit like this would have never happened on AEW TV, with the Butcher and the Blade taking these W's. All right. I'm down with it. But yeah, so you know, and what surprised me with that show, damn, who was it that who did Hikaru Shida get the title from? After that match, then they had Rampage. I remember the Hardys came out first, and there was the last match on the Rampage taping was Anna Jay and somebody else, I can't remember. And everybody left. So half the people had already left during the main event of Dynamite. And then I would say a little more than half of the people that was left after that, they left. And I was just like, that's crazy. And what bothered me, the first few rows where the hard cam is at, can you believe those people left during the main event? There was hardly anybody sitting in those first few rows by the time Rampage got started. Those are the people who paid the most money to be there. How do you leave early? If I'm paying several hundreds of dollars to sit in the first few rows, you better believe it. I'm going to watch y'all pack up that damn ring. And here comes Athena. She is so pretty. She is 42-0 in Ring of Honor singles. Marcus, you said, did you also see the post I sent you? The photo of Rollins and Punk careers are so similar. It was like they was brought to be rivals as a purpose. You even got Punk 2010 compared to Rollins 2020. No, I didn't get a chance to see that. I'll check that out after the show. Okay, so who is this that Athena's in the ring with? Roxanne. I don't think I've seen her before. Okay, I don't think Athena want to shake her hand. Okay, Roxanne is barefooted. That's interesting. So this is a proving grounds match. You either win with a submission, with a pin, or just last 10 minutes. If you last 10 minutes or win with a pin or submission, then you get a shot for the title. Oh my God, Athena already won? All she did was punch her in the face. Oh, this is the shit that I be talking about. Oh, well, here we go. Here's Billy Starks with an attack from behind on Athena. Okay, so Billy Starks got the upper hand right now in this beatdown. When they were fighting the other day, they had like 50 security guards keeping these girls away from each other. Now, no one's coming out. Well, we do have one ref out. Okay, Athena throws Billy out the ring. Now, Billy done grabbed her by the legs and brought her out and slams her against the barricade. Damn. And Billy looks pissed the fuck off. And she done threw her against the barricade again. I hope we get this side of Billy for the pay-per-view. Oh, now she done hit Athena's head onto the ring post and slammed her head against a chair. Okay, so now here comes the referees keeping them away from each other. But Athena already done got her ass whooped. You know, like even though Billy is being aggressive, she still seemed like a little girl with a slight bit of a mean streak. It's gonna take some time to really. Oh, oh my God! Athena knows. There is just so much blood. Is that real? Oh my God! You know what? I actually did hear a report about Athena nose being broken. I don't even think she addressed that. I'm not 100% sure. But that would be interesting if that's the case. I wonder if her nose is really broken. You never know when it comes to wrestling. Um, Wait a minute, the show is finished? Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh my God, the show is finished and they're giving a replay. So about an hour and 45 minutes of the show. Now that I'm watching this and hearing Caprice talking about how her nose is broken, blah blah blah. Like Caprice, bro, you're not a virtual doctor. How do you know her nose is broken? So it probably isn't. I'm not sure. But I'll say this: it would be interesting to see if Billy Starks were to win and take the title from Athena. If that happened, I actually, even though I like Billy Starks, I don't think she's necessarily ready to be champion. However, if Athena were to lose, she needs to be on the AEW roster. Absolutely on the roster. Like, there's no reason to keep her around when another woman is holding the women's title. She's done everything that any woman would want to do in Ring of Honor at this point. So if she were to lose, she has to just go to AEW. I could see her taking some time off, and then maybe at some pay-per-view or something, she ends up re-debuting on AEW. And if that's the case, I'm totally cool with that. But if she loses, there's no real reason to go back to Ring of Honor. So, very interesting to see what they've done with Athena all year. She's been absolutely phenomenal. I was afraid she was going to get that Jade Cargill treatment where she's just going to get in the ring with a whole bunch of nobodies and just have squash matches. I don't know why they went with this tonight, right before the pay-per-view, but she has had so many memorable matches, amazing matches. Some of them I feel are some of the top best women matches of this year. She's just been absolutely phenomenal. Her character has always been consistent and on point. No complaints with what Athena's been doing in Ring of Honor. And unfortunately, I don't necessarily see someone being able to replicate what she's been doing all year. But if Billy Starks win, then that would be cool. Let's see what she do as champion. As long as Athena would definitely move on to the AEW roster, I'll definitely be cool with that. You said, are you going to start putting more polls up on your community section? Yeah, I actually do plan on doing that as we close the year. Basically like polls about, stuff from 2023. So what people thought about the year. You said, don't overwork yourself. You've been grinding for the last couple of weeks. You basically have live stream every show. I'm counting the NXT pay-per-view as NXT I stream. Why are you in a small group that does? So actually, I've actually liked going live these past few weeks. It makes me feel like I'm not watching the show by myself. Um, and unfortunately, I don't know anyone like friends or family that like to watch wrestling, so it's just usually me watching by myself. So with you guys in the comments, it don't feel like I'm alone with that. What if Rhonda is there and Tony Khan books her to dethrone Athena? And are you going to WrestleMania 40? Um, Rhonda, I mean, from what I heard, she doesn't really seem interested. She did do a post interview after that tag match that she had on Ring of Honor. She didn't really seem interested about necessarily being in the ring. What she was doing was hyping up Marina and her career. So I'm not sure if she's interested. If she wants to be in AEW Ring of Honor, I think that would be cool. But to dethrone Athena, I don't know. She's going to have to put in some work. Oh, and also if you're going to WrestleMania 40, I actually do want to go. I was actually looking at the Royal Rumble tickets, and oh my god, the cheapest ticket I found, like the furthest you can possibly be from the ring for the Royal Rumble, was close to $200 plus tax. I was shocked. I've actually been able to sit closer at pay-per-views for less. So I don't know. I was really surprised to see that the furthest ticket was about 200 plus tax. So I don't know. I'm thinking about the Rumble and also thinking about WrestleMania, but I'm not sure. And you said whatever happened to the Japanese female wrestler in AEW where she was used to dance. I'm not sure which girl you're talking about. Richard said, OMG, this Ring of Honor show was boring, nothing of importance to talk about. Whatever happened to character and wrestling. Yeah, they don't have it for the most part. People are saying that people in Ring of Honor are not happy. And if they're not, that totally makes sense. There's hardly anything going on over there. You said I still think Sky Blue should dethrone her, in my opinion. It just fits. And Athena goes up to Dynamite. What are the chances we get Swerve and Athena as the first Black woman and Black male AEW champion? For Athena, it is likely. What other Black women are over there, though? Jade is gone. Oh, we got Kiara, Red Velvet, and that's probably all the Black girls over there. That would be interesting. Sky Blue, I don't know, because Sky Blue was on the show consistently at some point, but she hasn't really been on in like 2 months or so. So she would definitely have to work her way up to going for that title. Manny says Athena and Tony Storm feud. I would actually like to see that. Both these ladies are really into their character, and that would really work out to see them in a feud, because both these girls can really, have an interesting feud. Seeing them in a match. If they have a match, maybe I'm being biased, but I would love to see Athena take the women's title from her. Oh, hey, R, you said Athena lost the belt. No, she didn't. She just got attacked by Billy Starks. She's going against Billy for the title tomorrow night. If she loses, I just hope she goes on to AEW and just be done with Ring of Honor. Maybe this might sound weird to say, but I think she's better than that. Better than being in Ring of Honor. I think she's done pretty much all that she can do. She's 42-0 right now in Ring of Honor. That's including her going against some of these girls twice and then a few like local talents or whatnot on the show. So she's pretty much gone against everyone. She's been there, done that, had amazing matches. So I think she's done with Ring of Honor. I would just move her on up. You said Ring of Honor was 2 out of 5 stars tonight. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's a little high for tonight. I know saying that it's 2 out of 5 stars right before a pay per view is not good. However, the pay per view should be freaking awesome. I've never actually been disappointed in a Ring of Honor pay per view, so I'm interested to see where they go with that tomorrow. You said, sorry, I had joined the stream late. I didn't get your full reaction. So I'm going to watch the replay after you finish. Yeah, they're actually giving the Ring of Honor replay right now. I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but usually they give the replay after, and then after that, you just watch whatever you want on the app. But the I'm going to do my review on this, which is going to be very brief, and just pretty much give my predictions for the pay-per-view tomorrow, because we do have some interesting matches. I feel like we only got like a few matches, and I don't know. It's just Tony Khan. Sometimes these pay-per-views, not just Ring of Honor, but some AEW pay-per-views, they don't get enough build. Well, actually, for the most part, most of those pay-per-views don't get enough build. But the pay-per-views end up being really good. And at some point, you would think that Tony would be like, you know what? I need to put more effort into building these things. And he's not doing that. The last one was Death Before Dishonor. It was literally less than a week away, and we only had Claudio versus Mark Briscoe. But then here come Tony Khan on a Sunday coming to tell us that Mark Briscoe is injured and can't be in the match. So then at that point, there was no matches on the card. And this dude is scrambling within like 5 days to come up with something. That is insane. You have a weekly show. Why are you scrambling to make matches for a pay-per-view? There's just not enough time. People are not going to be interested. Like, you can put, like, we got Blackpool Combat Club versus Mark Briscoe and FTR tomorrow. That sounds interesting. Is there a story behind this? Well, not really. They're doing this in memory of Jay Briscoe. Trying to see another example. If you have an interesting story, okay, Billy Starks and Athena has been interesting. They've been building this thing for most of the year, okay, to get to this point. That is how you're supposed to do something, where it's like, it's coming, but you take your time with getting it there, and people are invested in it. And if you ask the people who are either going to the show or watching the pay-per-view, they're going to say, well, I want to see Athena. Why? Because you've actually spent the whole fucking year building her up. Then you bring Billy Starks into it, and you start building her up to make a really interesting storyline. You build up an 18-year-old kid to be one of the more popular girls on the damn show. People want to see that because you actually build that up. Everything else that's on this thing is not as interesting because there's no build towards it. I'm trying to see what else is on here. Who is it? Okay, so Ethan Page, Tony Nese have they have an I Quit match. I am interested in seeing that. What they did already was put them in 2 matches earlier last month, and it's not as interesting, but it's an I Quit match. So who doesn't want to see that? Keith Lee and Shane Taylor. Obviously, they were together in Ring of Honor way back when. Keith Lee leaves 2015-ish and leaves for WWE. And obviously there was a lot of unfinished business, a lot of animosity with Shane Taylor because of that. Okay, so now you guys are revisiting pretty much a storyline, and that makes things interesting. You got two really big, huge ass dudes going at it in the ring. They've done nothing with Keith Lee. Shane Taylor, we've seen a couple of decent stuff with him this year, but it's interesting to see these two go at it at the pay-per-view. But other than that, nothing else is really that interesting. And I'm saying this as someone who bought a ticket to be at the show. I don't even see what else is on this pay-per-view. I felt like I just said all the matches. Okay, well, there is one more match, which is the 6-way survival of the fittest match for the TV title. So do you guys know the TV title is vacated right now? Whoever wins that match get the TV title. I think either Dalton Castle gonna win it or Kyle Fletcher. I'm okay with Kyle Fletcher winning because he's part of Don Callis' family, and I think that would help him out. Other than that, I don't see any other matches because I'm actually on the Facebook page. I'm trying to see if they announce anything else, and that's pretty much it. Many said you got that infantry girl. I forgot her name. She has tons of potential. Yeah, Trisha Dora. They put her here and there on Rampage, but she does a lot of indie stuff. R says, "Hey, Tati Taker. You notice the only off day from wrestling is every Sunday." Yeah, and I actually kind of think that AEW should just do their pay-per-views on Sunday because they're back at Saturday. When they do that, they have to put Collision on a Friday, and then they have to compete with WWE SmackDown, and they really cannot compete with SmackDown at all. The last time that they competed with SmackDown, this was so fucking embarrassing, you guys. This is so fucking embarrassing. SmackDown did like 2 million plus viewers, while Collision did 200,000 plus, like barely over 200,000. You know, from a business standpoint, they have to just consider doing their pay-per-views on Sundays. Because you going head to head with SmackDown, you're not going to be able to win that. Like, you literally did 1/10 of their ratings. That day y'all put the Collision head to head with SmackDown. That's insane. I don't mind Sunday pay-per-views. I'm cool with that. And they've done Sunday pay-per-views. Black Taurus. Oh, with Vikingo. Okay, yeah, they announced that I think today. So we got Black Taurus versus Vikingo. That's probably going to be the opener. I don't know if the AAA title might be on the line for that. I don't remember seeing if they said that, but it could be possible that the AAA title would be on the line for that match. Because that's not the first time they've actually had Elijo de Vikingo put that title on the line on AEW or Ring of Honor. You said, Ben said, if I was a booker, I would have sent Ring of Honor for NXT like Sean Cook, or send it to TNA. I'm happy Blade and Butcher won. They might be Ring of Honor, which is sad. You know, I'd rather than be Ring of Honor and actually doing something and getting some W's, compared to them being on Ring of Honor and always losing every single time. And they're way more talented than that to just be standing there and not winning. Oh my God, I'm seeing this video of Kenny Omega dancing in the ring during the commercial break. It's strange, but okay. You said, did you hear Punk debut is on the 26th on the live Holiday Eve show against Dominic, and on the 30th, it makes sense as Punk has a heated rivalry with Rey Mysterio in 2010, and Dominic was involved. I actually did see the ad for that last night. You said, "LOL, Ring of Honor didn't want to have Lee Johnson cut a promo for his match tomorrow in the four corner match for the crowned Ring of Honor TV title." Lee Johnson, I'm shocked that he's in this. He was on a losing streak, probably won 2, maybe 3 matches this entire freaking year, okay? And he got in that match. He beat Josh Woods, of all people, to get in this match. Can you believe it? I actually have not seen a match of his where I felt impressed. You know, he's a young dude. You know, I guess there's potential there, but I would have not put him in that match instead of putting Josh Woods, of all people. That was very strange. Every time I see him in the ring, he's being outperformed by his opponent. And that's just the truth. And I'm not trying to say this saying that he's horrible, but I just don't feel like he's really found his footing in the ring at this point. He has 0 character, 0. And this is a man who just married Julia Hart. And it's just like, yo, there's like nothing from this guy. So him not cutting any promos, I see why. Okay, Marcus, you said apparently Tony Khan put Jay Briscoe name in the tournament and poor taste. What do you mean he put his name in the tournament? And he's getting clowned for it for not reading the room. Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about with that one. You said Keith Lee in Ring of Honor. How sad. LOL. Unbelievable. Tony Khan, I would have turned Lee heel if I was the booker. So honestly, Keith Lee has not been on Ring of Honor this year at all. It's because Shane Taylor. Okay, so a few months ago, they were teasing Shane versus Keith Lee on Collision. They teased that shit several times and never actually did it. So because the pay-per-view is right pretty much here, and Shane Taylor is consistently on Ring of Honor, they ended up putting Keith Lee against Shane Taylor on this pay-per-view. They teased it so many times on Collision and just didn't follow through with it, which is really, really strange. You said, who is Shane Taylor? I'm sorry, but what is a Shane Taylor? Do he have a character? IDK, who is that? So Shane Taylor, part of Shane Taylor Productions, he's been on Ring of Honor for a very long time. And him and Keith Lee, they were together, part of Shane Taylor Productions. So what ended up happening was Keith Lee ended up pretty much saying, fuck you. WWE look better for me at this point. And obviously, jealousy, animosity between the two of them. So in a way, you could just look at it as, long-term storytelling between these two. And I get it, why they're going with that story. But y'all teased the match several times on Collision and ended up kind of randomly throwing it in on Ring of Honor. And some people just don't care at this point. You said Keith Lee is about to be Coco Beware status. Sometimes I wonder, if he even liked being in AEW. I don't see the payoff here for him. And I think he's been there did he come like early this year or maybe late last year? It probably is about a year or so since Keith Lee been in Ring of Honor. I mean, not Ring of Honor, AEW. And I have not yet seen the payoff. Yes, he won the tag titles with Swerve, but they snatched them off them so quick once they seen how popular the Acclaim got. And I think it was too soon in terms of Swerve and Our Glory getting the tag titles taking off of them. You see, at this point, things are working out for Swerve. And for Keith, we can't say the same. Like I said, why is Keith Lee even in Ring of Honor? He's too old to be a mainstay there. He should at least be on Collision outside Swerve. Is everyone Black in AEW getting proper booking on the right shows? Keith Lee, I think I said earlier, is not in Ring of Honor, actually. This is his first time actually being on there tomorrow night. So, like I said, they've been teasing it on Collision for the match to be on Collision, and somehow just came to the point, well, you know what, the Final Battle pay-per-view is coming out. Let's put these motherfuckers on there. So at least to look like there's somewhat of a card going. Tobin says Lee Johnson looking at contract like, I know I date Julia Hart, but Tony Khan, can I leave and go with QT Marshall or Cody? Let Sean help me in NXT, LOL. He has great potential in the ring. I forgot who he was in the ring with recently, and it actually was good. Was it Darius Martin? I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't remember exactly. I feel like he's one of those wrestlers where it's like certain people he just does really well with in the ring with, and certain people there's like zero chemistry. Even if he would have went to NXT, I don't think they could bring that personality out of him. He could have improved in the ring, but personality isn't just something you just suddenly get. You just wake up and you have it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if they'll be able to get that out of him. Which is what I was talking about a little earlier in the stream about Wheeler Yuta being with the best friends, and he was garbage. He joins BCC, and you see how amazing he is in the ring, but he has zero personality. And he's in a group full of people with nothing but personality. So he kind of stands out for the wrong reasons in that aspect. So, I mean, maybe it could work for him in NXT. You know, he does have a great look, I think. Someone that I do think, like, you know, I could see him in NXT. But if they can't get personality out of him, he's just going to get lost within that whole roster of these really amazing talent in NXT. He probably won't last that long. Marcus, you said, yeah, that's embarrassing. Collision and Rampage was on that Friday, and they both got killed by SmackDown. It was a stupid decision to be done by Tony Khan. He can't put the shows against Raw and SmackDown. I don't think he had any choice in terms of where to put the show. I do think when it comes to that, I think it's a network call on what night to put the shows on. So I don't think he has that type of pull to say, hey, put my show on this night or whatever. It's because they have a pay-per-view on Saturdays, and really they cannot compete. And then, you know, I don't know. I do think they can go to Sunday nights if they don't want to have that type of massacre happening on occasion. Manny said Marcus is talking about Mark Briscoe's in the tournament. Oh, with Brian, the Continental Tournament with Moxley and Swerve and Jay Lethal. So for me, I was saying on my review yesterday that I was bothered by Mark Briscoe being in that tournament and not winning. Earlier, obviously, after him signing with AEW, he was pretty much saying that, you know, he spent his whole life tagging with his brother. You know, Jay Briscoe has had success as a singles competitor and even won the world title in Ring of Honor. But Mark Briscoe never had those type of opportunities. And now he's on his own, not because he wants to, but because his brother is gone. And, you know, this whole year, they've done nothing with him. And that's really disappointing to see him in that ring and get 0 wins in the tournament. Like, how do you put this group of guys together and say, yeah, you're gonna be in the tournament, but you ain't gonna win none of these fucking matches. Just tear the house down with your performance, and that's pretty much it. And it's not just Mark Briscoe, Daniel Garcia being the youngest dude on the tournament with 0 wins. Who's the other one? Jay Lethal, as talented as he is, and he's finally in a situation where he's not parading around with that group of losers, and he lost every single match on the tournament. How does that help him? I think they've actually both did look great in this tournament, but no wins doesn't look good either. That really sucks. You know, I know Mark did get injured, I think in the summer. I think he something with his leg. But still, nothing has come from him signing in AEW at this point. I'm pretty sure he's getting paid, and he's able to provide for himself and probably provide for Jay's family too, which is great. But I'm pretty sure he wants to be successful. So I don't know. Really sad to see it come down to that. You said, I know this is random, but do you think Nick Wayne should be in Ring of Honor to up his ring work for a few years? And once he's 21, then he can work Dynamite and Collision. He's too young to be part of Dynamite. So, I originally had the same thought too. I think we have to see how things go with the storyline with Christian and him being part of that storyline. I don't mind him being in that storyline, but we really haven't seen too much of him in the ring. So we'll see. I did not actually enjoy his debut match, the one that he had with Swerve. I did not like it. I think you really saw how inexperienced he was. Now, since he was, I want to say 16, Nick Wayne had been, doing indie matches or whatever, and I've seen those. And actually, the reason why he went against Swerve was because he worked with Swerve several times before signing with AEW. So they had experience with each other in the ring. So this would have been the best case scenario in terms of who he should be in the ring with. I just did not like that match because he came off very inexperienced. And one thing that I've noticed as someone who goes to indie shows and also go to televised shows is two different things. Once you are on TV, you have to work differently compared to when you're in the indie scene and you're not televised. You kind of got to change your mind a little bit to remind yourself that I'm doing this in front of TV. And there's a certain type of way that this is supposed to read for the people who's watching on TV. And that's what I think was the inexperience with Nick Wayne, was that he was doing this for TV in comparison to him being on an indie show where there's probably 100 or 200 people there watching him, or even less, which is a different vibe. Ben, you said, I'm talking about they not giving they not give me an important for Shane Taylor, but they showed their promo on Collision, but still could have done on Ring of Honor also. Yeah, it's a little confusing because we did see. Oh, okay, so they seem to have had a sit down interview with Nigel, Shane, and Keith Lee, and they literally showed 15 seconds of it, if that, on Collision, and that was pretty much it. And I'm just I know they didn't sit down for 15 fucking seconds. Where's the whole interview? And I have yet to see that. I actually looked to see on the Honor Club app, and I looked on YouTube. There is no interview. which is weird. Marcus says Moxley beating Swerve was some BS. I hated that he shouldn't be losing when he's supposed to be positioned for the AEW World Championship. And Jay Lethal's literally got to job out. I can't speak on that. So I'll put it this way. I think I mentioned this earlier too, that Swerve shoulders were not down when Moxley pinned him. And I watched it a few times and it looked like maybe the referee saw it and just ignored it. It is what it is. Even if Swerve doesn't win this tournament, which I thought would have been really great for him to win, he can still be in the title picture. He obviously going to have to get in line after Samoa Joe. It's supposed to be Wardlow. I don't know if anyone else is in line when it comes to the world title. And I actually would like to see Samoa Joe win. I don't know. I'm a little over the whole MJF thing right now. And him also having the Ring of Honor title doesn't make sense. But Swerve, I think he's a bit of a ways to getting his hand on the title. But if this dude don't get it by the summer, something is wrong. Somewhat during the summer, hopefully. You said Tony Khan needs to hire you for Ring of Honor to properly book it. You guys think that I'm joking by saying that I'm literally going to ask somebody tomorrow, where's Mr. Khan's office? Can I speak to Mr. Khan? Somebody got to talk to this dude. Where am I with these comments? You said, why does the AEW pay-per-views always be bangers more better than the weekly shows? At least we get these. Yeah, the pay-per-views are always on point. That's why I normally do not mind buying the pay-per-views because I know I'm going to enjoy it. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty solid. And I'm not gonna lie, I am at the point where it's like, okay, I cannot buy pay-per-views on a monthly basis. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. Watching the PLEs and basically playing damn near pennies for them in comparison to an AEW or Ring of Honor pay-per-view. At this point, it's like, all right, AEW, you guys are gonna have to change things and go with that PLE format as well because $50 is no joke. I was kind of disgusted about the all in and all out being in the same fucking week, 7 days, $100 on pay-per-views. And I saw nowhere where there was discounts for buying both. Like they say you buy both and you pay $80 for both, something like that. At least if you did something like that, I don't know, maybe that would be better for some people. And in my opinion, though, I preferred All Out over All In. I thought All Out was better than All In. In terms of presentation, All In looked better. Obviously, the larger crowd, them, going all out to, boost up that production value. But I don't think it was a better pay-per-view than All Out. Okay, Jakey said, Daniel Garcia come up. He was talking about his contract. I could see him in TNA. Oh, before TNA, I could see him going to New Japan for a little bit. I could see him doing some things in Japan for a little bit before moving somewhere else. I could see him, trying for WWE, but I would like to see him in TNA, see what he can do over there. But definitely can see him in Japan, getting some experience. Oh, so well with TNA being under Endeavor now, Are we going to be still seeing them having ties with New Japan? That would actually be interesting to see how that, move forward. But I am disappointed about Daniel also not at least taking one win in this tournament. This is why I did feel like there's too many experienced dudes in that tournament when they could have been a really nice mix of guys, younger talent in that tournament. Could y'all imagine if Takeshita was on there? Takeshita had so many bangers earlier this year. If he was on that tournament, would have been amazing. Would have been a good thing for Don Callis family to have Takeshita on there. I think that right there is crazy. And I love the Blackpool Combat Club. I love John Moxley, but I don't want to see him win this shit. I don't even want to see him make it to the semifinals. I'm not good at math or anything, but I was trying to do the math to see the odds. At this point, Swerve is out because right now Jay White has 9 wins. But he's also had, not 9 wins. He had 9 points, but no losses. Wait, did he have a loss? Well, whatever. What it seems like to me is that even if John Moxley loses this next match, he's still in the lead. And only one more person could tie with him, which is Jay White. And I don't think they're going to want to have a tie. So I don't know. It's interesting to see where they're going with that. To me, I actually did predicted that this will end off with John Moxley and Bryan Danielson. If it's not Bryan Danielson at this point, it looked like it could be Andrade, which I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised to see how well Andrade has done in this tournament. And Brody King too. He's done really well. We've hardly got a chance to see him in singles competition, and seeing him in singles matches has been really refreshing. You said in 2 weeks, Ali could join AEW if he wants. I would want to see Ali versus anyone on Dynamite. Yeah, that would be interesting too. Jerry said, my fault, Tati. Sammy, not back. LOL. It was a video. What is surprising? Tony Khan hasn't done yet is that his creative AEW on his own Royal Rumble like pay-per-view dedicated the matches and called the casino chip is AEW version of Money in the Bank. You said, did you hear too that Sami Zayn asked Triple H for some time off and he was granted it? So I see Triple H, he treats the talent like family. That sounds really great because these guys work really hard. They are working so many shows a week. So they don't get a chance to be home like how, AEW wrestlers are. A lot of AEW wrestlers, they do still do indie shows too. So some of these guys might be home less than others, but I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people choose to go with AEW because their schedule is not as crazy as WWE schedule. So yeah, Sammy and a whole bunch of people in WWE could actually use that time off. You said, like I did, if you don't want to keep paying the high prices, AEW pay-per-views, I sent you a wrestling website where you can watch it for free. Yeah, so I've done that for a long time too. But if I like something, I pay for it. I don't have a problem with that. However, Tony Khan talking about him having basically, as much pay-per-views as possible where it could actually be on a monthly basis. That's insane. And if you do end up putting pay-per-views on a monthly basis, which he absolutely should not, because he's not doing well booking the pay-per-views he already has. So imagine on a monthly basis, it would just be a overkill. But let's say if he did do that, if you were to do monthly pay-per-views, you need to be part of a streaming service. Nobody's going to be open to paying $50 a month. You know, that's enough money for a phone bill, a gym membership. Shit, you can't even buy groceries with $50. So he's definitely going to have to work on getting some type of streaming platform for the pay-per-views. Jonathan said, hi, Tatiana and Marcus. Tati, I hope you live stream for a Rumble so I can see your face expression. Yeah, the Rumble, actually, I've been looking at the tickets. I'm not necessarily happy about the prices. A little surprised at how expensive they are. The further you are, they're still slightly under $200 for the cheapest seats. I don't know. I've never sat like in the 300 sections before. I've always been in the 100 sections or floor. I don't want to spend over $1,000 on a Royal Rumble ticket. You said Endeavor just made a stream deal with TNA. Yeah, I saw that. That's absolutely awesome. So, you know, I know people probably was not expecting this for TNA, but in that aspect of them having a stream deal, it's better than what AEW has because they don't have one and they need it. You said, I've seen a picture of Zilla Fatu taking a picture with Tony Khan. Oh, that is very interesting, but I believe it was just that. I believe he goes to SmackDown with his family, is royalty to WWE. That would be interesting to see him in WWE. I know a lot of people are expecting that because of their blood ties. Zilla is still pretty inexperienced. And some people have stated that he is not as professional as they want him to be. So I don't know where he's going or necessarily what he's doing currently. If he goes to WWE, that seems to be really typical. But he would definitely spend time not just in the performance center, but also in NXT. Now I know what's his name? Solo was brought up really quickly onto the main roster. I don't see that being the same thing for Zilla. You said, what if we get Moxley and White tied? Do we get a triple threat at World's End? Also, don't forget Eddie Kingston is in a tournament still. Yeah, so they all have to continue. So even if they not gonna win, they still have to keep going because everybody still get 5 matches each. There's no way Eddie's going to win at this point. Wait, Eddie's in the blue. Eddie's in the. Is he in the blue league? I will have to look at the blue league numbers because I was looking at the gold league last night, but he doesn't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance, and for whatever reason, he's still defending the Ring of Honor title, which is weird. I don't know. Oh, so what I think they're gonna do if Jay and Moxley tie, I don't see them doing a triple threat. I see them basically just fighting for that spot. I think that's what they would end up doing. I don't know. Triple threat that would be interesting, but I think there's also a possibility for there to be a tie on the blue league as well. So no, they'll make sure they got a clear winner going into the semifinals at the pay-per-view. But I'm really surprised to see Andrade doing really well. Yeah, you said Eddie's in the blue. I don't think he has a chance. I think at this point he's already lost that opportunity. I'm actually trying to see if I could find the chart for the Continental Classic. I don't see it. No, I'm looking for it. I don't see it. But we'll get a chance to see more what happens on Collision. Roosh has actually been pretty good on this tournament as well. I think we've gotten a chance to see a lot of impressive things from everyone. Even the ones that have lost all their matches. But it's still not favorable for the ones that lost all their matches, Yeah, I'm looking to see if I could find the chart, but I don't see it. But it looking like it's going to be Moxley for the gold league, and then like I said, if not Brian, then Andrade looks pretty good for making it to the semifinals, and that would be cool with Andrade, getting that far. At least it wouldn't be as predictable as John Moxley or Brian Danielson winning the thing. But yeah, so right now they're giving the replay to Ring of Honor, and it really wasn't great. It could have been so much better. It's a go home show, and they didn't do anything with it. And I just think that it's really a shame. Right before the pay per view, for it to be this horrible, I don't know. I don't know. So they need a lot of help, and sometimes I feel like Ring of Honor may be beyond help, but there's still a possibility that they can make it. It's a small one, in my opinion. And there's certain things that you can enjoy from the show. And honestly, I can say I didn't really enjoy anything from this, but I watched it anyway. You said, what does the winner get? We never got the answer to this. I think the winner should get a title shot. Oh, they did say what you get if you win a tournament. The person who wins get the new AEW Continental title, and they also get the Ring of Honor World title, and they also get the New Japan Open Weight Strong title. That's an absolute overkill. Absolutely insane. First of all, if they were to do all this foolishness, the Ring of Honor World title should have never been on here. Simply because when it comes to the titles in Ring of Honor, they're hardly defended. Only Athena has really been consistent with defending the titles. After that, the Pure title has probably been defended the most after the Ring of Honor women's title. And that's insane. Horrible. Yeah, so imagine you win the tournament and they just throw 3 titles on you. That's just crazy. The thing that I find interesting though is what happens after that. Is the Continental Classic, is that title, is the Continental title, is it going to be like you winning the Owen Hart Cup title, or is this a title that you really get to go out there and actually defend? I don't think they've ever made that clear. So that is the only thing I think they haven't necessarily made clear. So this person will essentially be defending 3 titles. So at any point, somebody at Ring of Honor might call you out for the Ring of Honor World title. Anybody could probably call you out from New Japan for the New Japan title. And then obviously the AEW Continental title too. It's an overkill, just having that one title to win is absolutely enough. You said Vikingo has signed with TNA. Don't quote me on this, but I think I saw on Sammy Callahan return tonight. Maybe it's old, but I'm a check. Holy crap. Well, that would be interesting. I definitely got to check on that too. Yeah, I'm going to check on that too. Marcus says, great. Another title that's going to be forgotten 2 weeks later. It's unnecessary. It was better of better off the winner getting a title shot of any title they want, even a shot at the tag team titles. AEW has more belts than a belt shop in your local city. It's about 4 titles, as it makes it look like everyone um, can get a title around their waist. I don't actually mind them putting. So the thing is, if the booking was better, if the booking was solid, them adding another title would not be a bad thing. You guys see the TNT title went to Hell and back, and I wasn't necessarily sure about. Oh, you said you mean 40 titles? I'm not necessarily sure about. Hold on, Jerry. I'm about to Google that real quick. Were you guys seeing that about him signing with TNA? I am looking. I don't see anything. Oh, you said on Twitter, Impact Wrestling. Okay, luckily I do got Twitter open right now. Let me see. Okay, I see Josh Alexander. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. All right, it says breaking the electric buying. Vikingo makes his return to TNA at Hard to Kill and Snake Eyes on January 13th and 14th at the Palms in Las Vegas. Okay, so I think he's going to make his return, but did they say that he's actually signing? I see the guy here that TNA resigned Eddie Edwards. I see that. But that would be so crazy. If he would sign with Impact or TNA before AEW, that right there, I don't even know. Yeah, I'm looking at it because I do see here that he's going to be on the shows, but I was looking to see if they've made it official that they've actually signed him, because I figured that AAA was going to just hold on to El Hijo de Vikingo tightly and make sure nobody gets him, especially WWE. Could you imagine him in WWE? Oh my God. But he's done so many matches this year with AEW, and he's actually been pretty great. I know so many people really enjoyed that match he had with Kenny Omega. I'm not gonna lie, like I was peeping a lot of things that shouldn't have happened, but it was what it was. I can see why a lot of people liked it. So if he signs with them, that would be very interesting to see him sign with anyone else, rather than AEW. Okay, I see Tony Khan is trending on Twitter. He said Vikingo versus Ricochet would slap. Don't clown the idea, but his skills only works for AEW. He does a lot of flips. I agree, and I wouldn't necessarily say it only works for AEW. I just think that's just a lucha style, especially, him regularly, wrestling in Mexico. I necessarily don't always like it when it just seems more like, a gymnastic show. I want to see, all right, you want to do all this flips and shit? Let me see the wrestling with it. I would think that a match with Ricochet would actually be pretty cool, but we do got some AAA guys in AEW, which is why it seemed like it's like an AEW thing right now. It's just that a lot of those guys that come from AEW are there too, and they get to use that same type of style with each other in the ring. So yeah, I'm looking here on Twitter and it's showing that he's trending for whatever reason, Tony Khan. And I just really wish that things could be better in terms of booking, but they need help. They need help. Oh wow. So I'm looking at this headline. It says Eric Bischoff says AEW double storyline is irrelevant after CM Punk return to WWE. It doesn't really feel irrelevant. I love Punk, but just because he left doesn't mean that they can't go on. Now, if the person in the mask is Jack Perry, there's a problem. Hey, Leah, what's up? But yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to be able to move on. I wouldn't say that the story is irrelevant. It's obviously hotter news that CM Punk is in WWE again, but not irrelevant. Oh, and another thing I forgot to bring up last night was that they estimated that AEW lost 34 million this year. I can't even imagine me losing $34. Imagine 34 million. That is not good at all. What that shows me, I don't got no degree in math or anything, but they probably was not profitable this year either. I don't know. That's bad. I wonder what the numbers were last year. So okay, it's hard to say, but a lot of companies are not necessarily profitable in their first years of business. This is not just a wrestling thing. However, Tony Khan, his daddy is a billionaire or something like that. Or maybe close to that. I don't know. They obviously got a whole bunch of money. They invested a whole bunch of money into AEW. In my opinion, I don't know where all that money went, but obviously they didn't go into the right place. And one of those things that I feel like AEW lacked was in marketing. You know, the lack of them being able to fill out these arenas has been an issue. What's another thing? Like another thing I was saying the other day was I don't hear or see AEW advertisement outside of the wrestling space. Obviously, my social media is full of wrestling stuff because that's what I follow all the time. But I don't listen to the radio and hear them talk about it. I don't see commercials on TV of AEW or Ring of Honor. There's something wrong when it comes to their marketing. Whoever is that marketing team needs to be fucking fired. That's one. They could obviously be losing money due to the fans losing interest in the show. There's been times where they have made more than 1 million viewers or somewhat close to that. I think consistently they're around the 800 million. I mean, not 800 million, 800,000 when it comes to Dynamite. We're not even going to talk about Rampage. Collision, we're not going to talk about that either. Damn. That's another thing. Oh, yeah. So adding Collision could have played a big role into why they lost money. I would have to see what they did last year. If they lost more money this year than last year, then adding Collision would probably be the reason why. Oh, you said 34 million is insane. What was Tony Khan doing with that money? His daddy's gonna be pissed. I'm really interested to see, like, what the hell? That's a lot of money. But I'm kind of guessing that maybe because of Collision is why they lost 34 million. That's part of the reason, I would assume, adding another show. Jerry said LOL. He said, yeah, Shad Khan is a billionaire. He's worth almost 20 billion or like 10 billion he's worth. Wow. That is a lot of money. So, well, since I'm still here, what do you guys think AEW should do next year to have a more successful year? Like, I mean, like something specific. They really, man, I'm still looking at that 34 million thing. Like, that is very significant. Like I said, you know, with new companies, I mean, they're 5 years in. I would say that's still new. But at this point, 5 years in with a big company like this, Tony should have the best people on his team to make AEW profitable, to make it more successful. I don't know if he has the best team in terms of making sure he don't lose money like that. I said, what do you mean by your question? So what do you guys think, like, AEW, what should they change in order to be successful for 2024? You know, and another thing too, they spent a lot of time, a lot of money signing people. A lot of people want some big bucks to come on over to AEW. I don't even want to know what they spent to get CM Punk back over there. Whatever money was involved in that, that must have been top dollar when it came for somebody like CM Punk. They re-signed the Elite this year. What type of money went into something like that? Who else they signed this year? I feel like they signed a lot of people. They just signed Will Ospreay. I don't know if that goes into terms into what they lost this year, but they signed a hell of a lot of people. In my opinion, they didn't really need to sign anybody. It's absolutely insane. Hopefully next year they don't sign anyone else. Will Ospreay is one of those people where it's like, oh, you know what? I think I would go out my way to make sure I can get him. But a lot of those other people, probably not. So next year, definitely need to lay off of signing people. Um, Maybe pay-per-views on Sundays. Let me see. When is Revolution? Revolution, is that a Saturday or a Sunday? Yeah, looking it up. Okay, 2024. Oh, okay, it's a Sunday. Thank God. All right, so Revolution is a Sunday. Shit, what other pay-per-views they got? If they can keep the pay-per-views on Sunday, that will definitely help. They cannot afford to be going against SmackDown like that, or even be in a situation to go against NXT again. Um, that was actually pretty horrible. Oh, the tickets for Revolution go on sale tomorrow, and that's going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina. Okay, so that's going to be on a Sunday, so that's going to be interesting. So you said Tony Khan should hire retired wrestling personalities on his creative team and step out of creative, and the elite needs to get out of creative too. Tony Khan should hire like Mickey James for the women's division. Who he hired for the women's division? He hired. I just saw her in Ring of Honor earlier today. Madison Rain. He hired her for that. Um, and last that I remember hearing, Dustin Rhodes was also working with the women's division as well. I don't know if he still is. They could use someone like him to also help as well because he has a wrestling school, so he teaches that. So the girls can definitely learn a lot from someone like Dustin, but also they can definitely benefit from having more house shows. That's something that they could really use. We were talking about that yesterday, about how the lack of house shows is keeping a lot of these wrestlers from getting, working in the ring, and also some of these potential tag teams forming chemistry with each other, like how we were talking about Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs. They're tagging right now. However, they just look like two wrestlers in the ring rather than two guys with chemistry part of a team. And if they had house shows, they could have been experimenting on not just a team like Hobbs and Takeshita, but they could be experimenting with many different things with a lot of people on the roster. Once they feel like they're comfortable with something actually working during the house shows, then they bring it onto TV because now they already seen what works and what don't work, what the fans are reacting to and what they're not reacting to. And by then, it's either ready for TV or it's not. So that's a huge thing for them as well. In terms of Ring of Honor too, they need to keep that thing going in Orlando. Just like how they were doing before, they just do the tapings. I want to say they would film 2 shows every 2 weekends, something like that. I forgot what the schedule was, but now they're just filming before and after Collision, and I don't see that necessarily working. They're doing it because they want the arena look with Ring of Honor. I get it. However, when you start Ring of Honor, you got a shitload of people in the crowd watching. By the time you're halfway into Ring of Honor, half the motherfuckers are already left. There was one time where it was literally just 3 rows of people watching Ring of Honor, and they try to darken the arena so you can't see the seats in the back, but you can see it. They tried their best to darken it, but it just didn't work that well with the cameras. And just go back to Orlando and do what y'all was doing at the start of Ring of Honor. Have a smaller, intimate crowd, and that's great. The people who's going to be there, they should have a great time and just be vibing with the show, and you guys will be perfectly fine because you guys performing in front of a freaking half-ass empty arena does not do justice at all. And I've seen some of Ring of Honor best matches with just a couple of hundred people in a big empty arena. And that is so fucking sad. You said also what would help is Tony Khan books more storylines with wrestlers with charisma that's gonna attract a bigger audience, meaning casual fans who makes up most of the wrestling community. Like sometimes, so the storyline should help bring out some of these characters out of people. The thing is that I've seen some storylines where it just seems like AEW don't stay consistent with them. And just like how I was saying earlier, with how everybody's saying that Keith Lee being on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view is random, it was something that was supposed to take place in Collision. And like I said, like every month they'll kind of revisit the storyline and then they'll just kind of forget about it, get back to it, then forget about it. It's an issue with consistency with some storylines where it's just like they sort of seem interested in building something and then they just kind of abandon it. Now here we are months later after they've been teasing Keith Lee and Shane Taylor for Collision. Now we're going to get it at the Final Battle pay-per-view. So it does seem random. And maybe they meant it that way. You know what? Maybe they meant it that way, hoping to get people that watch AEW to watch the Final Battle pay-per-view. Honestly, that's not enough. You said Mickie James is probably joining her husband Nick Aldis joining Nick Aldis. So AEW should hire Victoria and a PC so wrestlers can train more. What also would help is Tony Khan advertise AEW more other than X and try to work with different companies like Cancer Association Hospital and talk shows. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, the lack of marketing has been another issue too for both AEW and Ring of Honor. Unless you're not necessarily following these wrestling pages like, AEW or any other type of wrestling page that might promote what's going on within the wrestling community, you're not going to see this stuff. So those casual fans who are not following these things, they're almost never going to see these, shows being brought up. Now, when it comes to WWE, which I don't like to compare with AEW because they've been around for so long, they've been there, done that. I can't go anywhere without seeing something WWE, So whatever people group that they have in terms of marketing and their business, they're doing a phenomenal job with keeping people seeing WWE all the time without even having to watch WWE. And AEW, no. I don't see it on TV. I don't see it literally anywhere else if I'm not already within something that has to do with wrestling. You said another thing Tony needs to do more in more areas instead of Chicago, New York, Jacksonville, because it's going to be tiresome and harder for people to get to these shows live. Everyone else isn't in 3 arenas. So you know what? Chicago had all the best wrestling shows this year. I'm jealous. New York is another one. AEW is constantly going back to New York. What's another one that they always go to? Not so much Orlando. No, not Orlando. I try to think of another one that they always go to, but it's just like I get it. So how I kind of looked at it at first is pretty much how wrestling was back in the day. Like you would have to go from territory to territory before you kind of see yourself going through the maps, and that's how Vince McMahon started with WWF. Obviously he was already in that New York territory. He ended up getting other territories and was able to slowly take WWF from to New York to other areas too. And you kind of got to look at it the same way with Tony Khan. I know it's 2023, but he also cannot be able to just go to any city that he wants. obviously he started really going, certain places before now that you see him going to a lot more cities compared to those first few years. Obviously, the pandemic happened and they weren't going nowhere. But now at this point, AEW has gone to more cities than ever before. They've been doing tours in Canada. They obviously went to the UK. And I do feel like they've relied on a lot with Chicago. They relied on hell a lot with New York as well, because they know once they go out there, people are definitely going to come, and I get it. It makes sense. But, if y'all don't go anywhere else, you're not going to see where else people are going to come to. And I do think that he should look to get smaller venues. I'm not necessarily concerned about you trying to, put like, I don't know, 25,000 people in the arena. I don't think that's necessarily something that, they've done something close to that before. But who gives a damn? I'd rather you be in a smaller venue and have it look full than for you to be at a bigger venue and not be able to fill up even half those seats and it doesn't look good. You said another thing Tony needs to do. Oh, no, I skipped that one. Endeavor has WME. That's the biggest talent agency in Hollywood. That deal was on point for promo. Marcus says basically AEW needs to do what WWE has done to gain more, because you can ask 90% of people, they would know what WWE is. WWE is more than AEW. There's a lack of marketing. Also, lucky to witness all the Chicago pay-per-views. So, to be honest, when it comes to the WWE thing, when it comes to wrestling, more people know about WWE because they've been around for 70 years. So I think that's fair for people to actually know who WWE is more than AEW at this point. So I get that. However, AEW could be doing more in terms of marketing for people to be like, yeah, I know WWE and AEW. You know what I mean? A lot of people that I know, when they see me watch wrestling, or if I say, oh, I like wrestling, then they'll be like, oh, you like that WWE shit? And I'm just like, no, I like that wrestling shit. You know what I mean? It's two different things. WWE is a promotion. Wrestling, obviously the general term of watching other promotions too. So it's definitely come to the point where when people think of pro wrestling, they think solely WWE. And the reason why is at some point, it pretty much seemed like it was just a market with just WWE. And that's not the case right now. I think right now, more than ever, we have so much wrestling. Sometimes, well, I'm not going to say I feel overwhelmed with wrestling. Like if you try to watch wrestling during WrestleMania weekend, you will feel overwhelmed. That's something that I try to do every year. And I always just tire myself out with that. But other than that, you can literally go anywhere and watch pro wrestling. You said I witnessed a lot of Chicago pay-per-views with AEW and WWE. As I live in Chicago, I was born out here. Oh, that is so cool. So I've definitely gone to a lot of their shows in Florida. I'm originally from New York, but I've actually never gone to a wrestling show in New York. I would actually love to go to a wrestling show in New York. I do think it makes a difference. He said what Tony has to do. Finally, that I can think of, you mentioned several times Tony needs to put the shows in smaller arenas too, because people are showing the AEW arenas being empty weekly, and that's sad. Yeah, I agree with that too. So what I also noticed though, because a couple of days ago, I went to see, which one was it? If it wasn't the final battle, then it was Collision. I went to see how much tickets they had left, and I didn't realize this. But it looks like they blocked off the hard cam side on purpose. So other than the floor seats, anything that's not on the floor, those tickets are not available. So now I'm looking at it as in they're strategically doing this, which is a little strange to me. Like literally, no tickets look to be have sold there, and none of them are available. I'm thinking maybe at some point they're just like, all right, let's block off the hard cam side because we're obviously not going to film towards that way, and we'll just keep the other sides of the arena with seats available for people to purchase, so it could give that appearance of looking like the arena is full. But even though that they're doing that, some people who's sitting obviously in the crowd is going to look over onto the other side, and they're going to take pictures and be messy about it. So yeah, they might be doing that purposely, at least at this point, because that's what it looks like. I saw it for Ring of Honor, but I'm gonna be like 100% with y'all. They probably sold 1,000 tickets for Final Battle. Maybe the last time I checked, it was slightly 800, and everything else is still available. I feel like I'm gonna be like one of the only ones over there, but whatever. And that's what I was saying, the lack of marketing as well. People probably don't even really know about the show unless you're in the honor club. You're seeing the shows being advertised on the show. I mean, on the app, but on AEW TV, you don't see any commercials when it comes to Final Battle pay-per-view or whatever the hell Ring of Honor got going on. So they potentially could have had more people being at the Final Battle pay-per-view. Now, last night Dynamite, they were in. So they were in Arlington, Texas, which is in that Dallas area. Where they're going to be tomorrow night is a little slightly outside of Dallas, a few minutes outside of Dallas. But you see how much people was at Dynamite, right? In comparison to how many people was going to be at the Final Battle pay-per-view, absolutely insane. That's the marketing issue right there. You said what Tony Khan has to do finally. Oh no, I read that one already. I have one more thing Tony Khan has to do is to relax on the death type of matches because fans has been turning away from the product because of that stuff in the ring, looking scripted. I won't say fake. So I'm not a fan of death matches. There have been probably a handful that I've actually watched and liked, and I mean, if you guys saw my live stream when I did that, I was mortified watching that match, but I actually did enjoy it. I enjoyed the story being told in this match and before that match, and I really felt like we got something impressive out of these guys. Were there some things that they did that they probably shouldn't have done? I will say yes, but overall, I did enjoy it and I was cool with it. But it's not my cup of tea. I think it took, someone like Swerve, someone like Hangman, to give a really great death match. And I actually did enjoy it. And it's not everyone's cup of tea, So I can see why some fans not like it, but I don't think it would be enough for me to be like, I don't want to watch this promotion anymore because they had a death match. It's not something that they've done often in comparison to other types of matches. So these are the problems Tony Khan has to fix in 2024. Besides you saying he needs to stop signing talent on a over bloated roster, if Tony does, AEW will be okay. Um, what Cody originally was trying to do. Yeah, so whatever it is that made them lose $34 million, he's just gonna have to figure how to not have that to be an issue for next year. We don't know specifically what it was that came to that point for them to lose that much money. But there's definitely a lot of work to be done next year. And I want to see better things because I really do enjoy AEW. However, despite them having a really great roster and them having a lot of great wrestling too, a lot of fingers can be pointed at Tony Khan in terms of why it's not as successful as it could be right now. You said Cody just trademarked his new promotion. Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that. You said, I think you skipped my comment on Swerve and Page match. I think you, I, match comment I made. What you think about it? Oh no, I was just saying that I actually did like it. I don't like death matches, but I liked it. I did prefer it over the match that they had before that. Um, I know what it was that really turned people off. It's that thing where, the blood drinking or whatever. It was a lot, okay, but it's not enough for me to be turned off by AEW. It's a death match, so whoever was that didn't like it should have heard death match and just changed the channel. Oh, really? He's reviving. Okay. I actually did not hear about that. So, very interesting. Is there going to be any affiliation with WWE? I gotta read more into that because I actually did not hear about that. So, I know you guys are posting a lot of things you guys see in the wrestling news and whatever. I absolutely do not read wrestling news. I actually don't like reading wrestling news. I will not lie. I actually used to read it a lot. Like back when I was in college, I wake up in the morning before I get my day started. I don't know if they even have this website anymore, but I used to go to nodq.com every morning to read wrestling news when I wake up. But I'm annoyed. I don't like speculations. I don't like rumors. I don't like reading anything from the dirt sheets. It's not my thing. Don't like it at all. But it is interesting to hear Cody reviving Dusty's promotion, and I would like to see if there will be any type of affiliation with WWE at some point. Is anybody actually going to watch Final Battle tomorrow? I actually just turned the thing off. But yeah, the most I get in terms of wrestling news is whatever the hell people are posting on social media, and I kind of don't even look at that for the most part. Oh, okay. I just seen they posted for the final battle pay-per-view. Wheeler Yuta is going against Filthy Tom Lawler for the pure title. That is so random. I thought wasn't Wheeler Yuta about to go with what's his name? Hook in the FTW rules match? What happened to that? Um, wow, very interesting. Okay, so it does seem interesting that well, Tom is really great. So if you guys never seen Tom, he is awesome. So I think that's it's going to be great. However, it is random. What you say? You said no. I was on what Microsoft. You said I believe if Cody is doing that new wrestling promotion, it's going to be under WWE, but Cody will be all over it. Triple H won't touch it. Oh, you said yeah, it's through his Nightmare Factory. Oh, okay. All right, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if Dustin would have anything to do with that too. I know Dustin got his school in Texas. What do you think about the Rollins Punk promo being off scripted? So talent has been going off script since Triple H being involved. They just have to say the promo correctly. I don't mind people going off script. Something about that kind of reminds me of the promo last night with Big Bill, Ricky, Kenny, and Chris Jericho. Something about that it was a hit and miss. I don't know. It was weird. Sometimes I do think some people actually do need a script. Some people are not that well rounded when it comes to promos. People like Rollins and CM Punk, you can put them out there and you won't. Well, let me not say you won't have to worry about them. But they can go off script and still be very entertaining. You can't say the same thing for other people. Other people need that script before going out there. So yeah, for certain people, they need it, while other people, and yesterday, yesterday I called my sister last night, and I so like on iPhones you can share your screen with whoever you want to call with, so they can see whatever you're watching. I tortured her and make her watch Kenny Omega stuff. She was over it. Um, but she showed me something about people on TikTok that they're doing this fight forever thing, something like that, where literally they'll go anywhere and just fight, like have matches. And these people just pulled up in a barbershop and just had a match. And it was very strange. And I was like, people actually do stuff like this so they can put on social media. I've never seen anything like that. So basically, these group of friends or people who so-called don't like each other, they go from one place to another and just having random matches, and then they just leave. It's so weird, but interesting at the same time because they're actually doing the moves pretty great. Right. Chris Jericho calling him the less charismatic Enzo More. That was actually pretty interesting, but some parts of that was cringy. All right, you guys. So I have caught up to with all the comments. I'm gonna have to go. Your girl got to catch an early flight to Dallas tomorrow. Uh, to go to Final Battle on Collision, but I'll be back on Sunday. I could probably go live on Sunday night and just pretty much talk about my experience or whatever. But um, I don't know if I'll be able to do any reviews if I'm too busy while I'm over there. But I do appreciate you guys rocking with me for Ring of Honor. It was very torturous tonight to sit through a little over an hour and a half of the show that wasn't that great. Marcus, he says, so WWE is constantly putting Punk matches. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. On YouTube. Every time I get on YouTube, CM Punk matches all over my YouTube. And I'm just like, yo, WWE is literally pulling out all these matches. It's absolutely insane. They even have like a live stream of CM Punk matches. I think that weekend he debuted, or maybe if he not debuted, returned. It was just an overkill for me. So it was nothing but CM Punk matches on my YouTube right now. And some of them I actually did watch. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about this. Like CM Punk really did some great stuff in WWE. But you know, let's not get it twisted. He did some really great things in AEW too. Oh, you said do Twitter updates? Bro, I literally bought 3 extra batteries just in case. So now I got 4 batteries for my camera so I can take pictures and videos. I am ready. Right, King Leo, they do the matches live. Sometimes I catch them live. Ooh, okay, they just posted another match for Ring of Honor. I'm just now seeing this. The Mogul Embassy versus TMDK. All right, that's going to be interesting. I didn't know there was going to actually make it for the pay-per-view. Like I said before, Khan and Toa Leona, they actually been in New Japan during the tag tournament. All right, so they got 2 matches added onto the pay-per-view, so that's interesting. So, you know, they put 2 more titles on the line over there. So obviously the only title that won't be on the line will be the Ring of Honor World title. And that sucks. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. But I'll do a quick prediction video for the Final Battle pay-per-view. But I will see you guys on Sunday when I come back home. So I appreciate you guys rocking with me. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.